Welcome to the Fierce Entrepreneur Summit, and thank you for joining us on this Friday. We are so excited to be here and for you to be with us tonight. I do need to start by saying that unfortunately, Kim will not be joining us tonight because she is still not feeling well. We are sending out much love to her and hope that she feels better soon. I also want to let everyone know that Yvonne is also not able to be with us as planned, but we are still going to represent her as if she was here live with us. Now, you might be wondering, who is the Fierce Entrepreneur Summit for? Well, the Fierce Entrepreneur Summit is for anyone who is an entrepreneur or thinking about becoming an entrepreneur. It's also for those of you who are curious about the life of an entrepreneur and what goes into being one. It's a place to be inspired and discover behind the scenes insight into owning your own business, from the challenges to the successes. And tonight, we are going to be doing things a little bit different than we have in the past. We are going to be having two roundtable discussions, and we are going to be having some of our masterminders lead the roundtable discussions, and some of our masterminders are also going to be the roundtable guests. So tonight's roundtable leaders are going to be Jill Olish and Kat Corchado. They're going to be leading the first roundtable. And then Carrie Zarb and myself will be leading the second roundtable. And our guests tonight at the round table are going to be Donna Bender, Linda Bonney, Denise Millay, and when Kat, Jill, and Carrie are not leading, they are also going to be guests at the round table. So before we kick off tonight's summit, I do want to first introduce everybody and let you know a little bit about each person. So, first we have the freaking fabulous Kat Corchado. She is a proud Air Force veteran, a health and wellness professional, founder of Small Space Pilates, podcast host, published author, and GME roving reporter. Kat is the founder, as I said, of Small Space Pilates, an online community where you get fit and fabulous through online classes and a library of videos you can utilize anytime. With over 39 years in the fitness industry, Kat will help you increase your body awareness, strength, and flexibility. She is the host of the podcast Sisters in Service, where she speaks with military women about the good, the bad, and the ugly while serving active duty or as veterans. She also co-hosts the Salty Sisters live stream with Yvonne Marchese, where they bust up the old paradigms about aging and have fun while they do it. Also with us tonight is Linda Bonney. Linda is a published author, conversationalist, writer, storyteller, podcast host, production manager, and GME roving reporter. She lives and works in Tasmania alongside 4 kiddos, odd socks, and business friends who feel just like family. She has published 2 books inspired by her podcast, Stories with a Sunday Roast. She also hosts a second podcast, Mucked Up My Self-Care with Jill Olish, where they talk about motherhood and entrepreneurship. Through her storytelling and conversations, Linda helps others feel like they are sitting on the porch talking with a friend, quirky stories and all. Next, we have Yvonne Marchese. Yvonne is an age agitator, podcast host, community builder, branding photographer, published author, event speaker, and GME roving reporter. She hosts the Late Bloomer Living podcast, where she spotlights amazing humans who are defying societal age boundaries. She is also the co-host of the Salty Sisters live stream with the freaking fabulous Kat Corchado, where they bust up the old paradigms about aging and have fun while they do it. Denise Millay. Denise is the findability queen, a tech simplifier, game show host, published author, website builder, founder of M Media Group, and a GME roving reporter. Through her book, Be Findable, Denise is on a mission to make sure the content you create for your business is included in search results when your potential clients look for you online. And she does this because if they can't find you, they can't do business with you. Next up is Jill Olish. Jill is the founder of Mama Outspoken, executive team leader, postpartum awareness advocate, vision board party host, event coordinator, podcast host, GME associate producer, and GME roving reporter. Jill is creating a life and business that is fulfilling and meaningful while being living proof for all moms that living out your dream life is possible. Working through her own challenges of postpartum, Jill founded Mama Outspoken because she wanted to empower mamas to find their voices and be heard, advocate for themselves, and spread awareness for motherhood transitions. She is also the co-host of Mucked Up My Self-Care podcast with Linda Bonney, where they talk about motherhood and entrepreneurship. Next, we have Donna Bender. Donna is a certified givologist, branded product strategist, corporate marketing trainer, creator of the Giving Plan, show host, published author, and GME roving reporter. Donna is celebrated for her creativity in crafting impactful marketing and branding strategies. With a keen focus on surprise and delight marketing, Donna has built a reputation for helping businesses build long-term relationships, maintain their client base, increase referrals, and grow their business, whether that's finding the perfect gifts to give or using the right branded products to effectively represent their company and image. In her recently published book, The Art of Givology, Giving Your Way to Success in Business, Donna shares her 2 decades of experience. Next, we have Carrie Zarb. Carrie is a rock star podcaster, published author, brilliant entrepreneur, director of Zing Business Solutions, cover girl, mastermind leader, GME executive producer, and roving reporter. She also is the money barista who helps entrepreneurs get in control of their business finances. She does this through the Money Barista podcast, which she co-hosts with Kim White. She has the Money Barista Savings Tool, where she shows you how to get rid of those pesky recurring subscriptions. And she has the Money Barista Club, where she provides the necessary tools to help you understand your business finances. And through her new book, The Money Barista, she shares her finance saving wisdom. Carrie has helped this community save over $116,000 in recurring subscriptions. Fueled by coffee, Carrie loves the beans of all kinds. We also have Kim White. Kim White is the fierce leader of the My Sexy Business community, a published author, podcast host, mastermind leader, and GME executive producer. Along with Carrie Zarb, Kim co-hosts the Bucket and Boom Gates podcast, where they talk about all the things it takes to be an entrepreneur. They also co-host the Money Barista podcast, where they discuss all the ways you can get in control of your business finances. She has helped entrepreneurs all over the world build businesses that they own and doesn't own them. And finally, my name is Adam Rothenberg. I am a media personality, red carpet correspondent, published author, event coordinator, GME associate producer, and roving reporter. For the past 15 years, I have been going behind the scenes with celebrities from the world of film, television, theater, and music. I'm the creator of the entertainment platform Call Me Adam and host the podcast Bearing It All with Call Me Adam. My unique style of interviewing has given me the opportunity to conduct more than 1,500 interviews. So without further ado, it is time to get started with tonight's Fierce Entrepreneur Summit. And the theme of tonight's summit is doing the right things in the right order. So I would love to welcome to the stage our first 2 leaders of the roundtable, Jill Olish and Kat Corchado. And now I am so excited to bring up all our guests, Linda Bonney, Carrie Zarb, and Donna Bender. And Jill, Kat, I'm turning it over to you.
Thanks so much, Adam. And I have to say, I believe Denise is among our friends, Kim and Yvonne, in not being able to make it tonight. So we miss all of you guys, but we are excited for the show we have tonight. The summit is fantastic. We love putting it on each quarter and having everybody here to highlight you guys and the work that you do and just really showcase all the amazing things you are all doing. And according to our theme. It's the right things that you're doing and in the right order. So let's kick it on off with, I'd love to know all of our interpretations of our beloved princess kindergarten term, doing the right things in the right order. And I'll go ahead and kick us off, and then we'll go ahead. It's, again, a round table, so we're going to open this up to everybody. We'll see where our conversation goes today, but if we do have some very spicy questions on the side to ask as we're going along to keep us all chit-chatting tonight. So I'd love to say that my definition is doing the right things in the right order. It's doing these actions that are successfully getting you from one step to the next and not feeling like a pinball machine that you're going over here and then over here. And what does this have to do with that over there? And it's, okay, this makes sense. And I'm following you along in this adventure and take me to where you will solve problems for me. And I want to be able to provide that. So doing the right things in the right order is like following a path instead of jumping from side to side in my interpretation of that. So
Jill, are you talking about the squirrel syndrome?
Like unicorns,
the shiny things. Ooh, what's that over there? I agree with you, Jill. I think that sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And as a newer entrepreneur, you have to find out what those things are to put in the right order, because we want to go from 0 to 10. And you can't go from 0 to 10. You've got to do all the steps. You can't just jump from there to there. So you have to work your way up. And I think for me, it's when Kim says you have to slow down to speed up, I was like, thank you. Yes, I'll take that. And, other people are like, no, I want to go faster. And I'm like, no, I want to slow down. So I think slowing down and understanding why you're doing that, in the order you're doing that, and we can all of us can see where we've been and where we are now, going, oh crap, that really does work.
I love that, Kat, and I'm going to jump in because for me, I always think of building a house and how we have to start with that base foundation and work our way up. So for me, I always mentally have this picture of building a house. I've got to pour down the slab, but then I've got to put up the framework, and then I've got to add all the pieces after that. And don't forget the locks and the windows and the fixtures and fittings and the light fittings, all those little final touches for everything that we do. It's a case of having that foundation first. So I love what you guys are sharing, and I had to throw in that analogy of building a house.
I'll jump in. It was very challenging for me at first, I will admit, because I had been in business for so long. You used to doing things a certain way, and Kim could have been talking another language initially. And, they say, you hear things at the right time. And even though things were said multiple times, it wasn't until that one time when it clicked that I was able to understand doing one thing in front of the other. And ever since it clicked, it has really saved me time, because I know I can't work on that, because that's not what I'm working on. Even though I may want to, I know that if I'm going to move forward and get to where I want to go, I have to put that aside and just take care of the one thing in front of me. So it was a great, it was a gift to be able to finally hear.
Donna, I love the fact that you said that, because sometimes we all have to hear things. I don't know about y'all, but me 7, 8, 10 times. And even then, sometimes you're not ready for it. So you have to be ready to receive it. You have to be at that point where you're like, oh yeah, now I can do this.
Well, in marketing, they say it takes at least 7 times to get your message across. So I don't know why it would be any different with us.
Exactly, Donna. I love that.
going to jump in with another definition, analogy, definition, visual that came to mind as well. I think on the outside it can be easy to, well, not easy, sorry. On the outside we can appear orderly and in place and that sort of thing. And it's a bit like a fitted sheet, right? Okay, you can fold a fitted sheet, but if it's not cleaned in the first place, it's sort of doesn't really serve the purpose of getting it out and using it again. So I can't fold fitted sheets very well, but I can wash them and hang them on the line and get them in off the line and everything else like that. So there's sort of a process that has to happen. And
See, I like that analogy too, Linda.
Yeah.
Because you can walk into a house that looks perfect, and then you open a closet and crap just falls down.
I know a house like that.
Yep.
I'm saying it for a friend.
Yeah. I used to hide dirty dishes in the microwave in my 20s when my mother-in-law used to come over. I'd like hide all the dirty dishes in the microwave or the oven, and it looked much better than it was.
Well, two of you, well, Kat, you had said slowing down and getting things, understanding what the steps are. And then Linda, you had just said something too about showing your almost like your work. And I had heard something on the radio this week, and it was about how in math we used to have to show our work in order to get full credit on a problem that we had to answer. And if you had just given the answer, you only got half credit. Mm-hmm. And hearing all these different analogies and illustrations of what doing things in the right order is really slowing down and showing your work, because all the people that go out there and just want the final answer, they're not getting full credit because they're not understanding that work first, that we're all having to figure out, well, what is the right order to get to that solution for someone? And when we're trying to learn that as entrepreneurs, it feels that we're not going to be able to ever really fully solve something for someone if we're not able to understand how to do that in the first place for them. And that's how we can do the right things in the right order for ourselves in order to understand our business, to understand what the problems are that are out there that we need to solve. And I think that's really powerful coming from this. I'm super excited to even like have that connection from something so simple that we knew as kids. They were like, we are never going to need to show our work ever. And here we are needing that instant gratification because we wanted to skip that step when we were younger in school. And now we're really needing to actually go ahead and show all of our work in order for it to really click for us to understand too.
Jill, can I jump in? Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Kat, you go.
Okay. No, I was just going to say that also showing your work shows that the process actually works. So when you show your work, and, you know, we always talk about our wins, and you look at those wins and you're like, wow, okay, this does work, you know? And so I think for me, when you said show your work, I was like, that's why I write stuff down, you know, and I highlight it. So when we come back and say, what are your wins? I'm like, I did this and this and this and this and this. Yay, me. Go ahead, Carrie.
I had a similar thought there, Kat, because if you think about yourself as an entrepreneur and being a salesperson, like actually selling our products or services out to, you know, the globe and those that need the solutions for the problems that they're having, we've got the solution. However, if we haven't stepped through this process properly and built our business by doing the right things in the right order, I feel it's given me the opportunity to understand that path for those that I want to solve the problem that they have. So therefore, you know, this whole doing things in the right order and building it slowly, slowing down to speed up, has given me that opportunity to really understand, you know, what I've got to offer and dig deeper. I've got time to dig deeper into the solutions that I can bring to the table for people, rather than what you mentioned before, Kat, about, we all want to get to the end. We all want to go from 1 to 10, rapidly and overnight and make $1 million by the weekend, and all those facades that we see out there. But using all of these principles and bringing it back to building slowly and methodically and thoroughly, we get a better understanding. Therefore, I feel more confident as a salesperson in my business because I've built it, I believe in it, I can see the results it's going to bring for people. So I just wanted to add that.
No one else wants to jump in? Come on, Donna. I know you're chomping at the bit for that. Come on, give us something, Donna.
I don't even remember the question at the moment. So I'm just listening to all of you go. I'm trying to put it all together. Go, what was the question?
There was no question. That was the best part.
Just a statement. Just a statement. It was about showing our work.
Yeah.
I was thinking of you, Jill, because, you're mentioning that, and, Declan's going to be going through school and all that stuff. And, the fact that you're aware of that, I think is great because, you'll be doing it with him.
Yeah.
Oh, new math. Yay.
Showing my work for school is right around the
And
corner.
Linda gets to do it 4 times.
Well, I think when, I can't remember who said, it might have been Carrie, that sometimes in this community, what I love is the fact that we all learn the same thing differently. We all learn differently. And so Carrie might say something and I'm like, it's going to go over my head. And everyone's like, yeah. And I'm like, I don't get it. But then when Kim breaks it down because she always says we're related. And then she says, oh, it's this. I'm like, oh, okay. I got that. I can do that. So I think understanding how you learn, and whatever group you're in, whatever mastermind, whatever coach you have, has to understand how you learn and how to bring that to you, and not just say, okay, do this. And you're like, I don't know how to do that. So I think that's important too.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kat. I know that I am a visual person. I'm not an auditory learner. And so I have to see something in order for me to process it. And, sometimes when I'm driving in the car and I'm listening to everybody's podcasts and I'm like trying to write something down, and everything is auditory, it's if I had seen a photo of like you guys talking, that the idea would remain in my head, but it was auditory, it was like, oh, that was great. And I don't remember by the time I got home to write it down. So, we do learn differently. I like pictures.
And then there's some of us that have to learn by doing, and that can be almost painful when it does take us, if not maybe the first try, the second try to figure it out. Kat, like you were saying, someone could say it one way and someone could say it completely the same thing in a different way. And you could try doing it the first time, and then the second time you do it, it finally clicks. Or because that was me with trying to figure out step 1 of sequences. Well, we'll say that because I spent like months figuring it out, but it works because now I can explain it to someone else the way that it might sound, where it might click for them that second time. It might be that that's what my opportunity was to share what I've learned, is to be that second option for someone to finally have it click for them too.
And I think there's also needs to mention that there's the classic eye roll, Miss Linda. Some of us learn by eye rolling, but asking questions as entrepreneurs, we can't be afraid to just keep asking. And Kim encourages us to ask until we're clear. Keep asking. There's never a silly question. As Donna said, we all learn different ways. So therefore, we have to continue to, I'm going to go back to my digging. I'm still building a house over here, and just keep, looking for those the answers to the questions so that we do get it and do understand it.
Someone knocking at the door. So, when we were talking about, how we learn, if you show me something and I can now have a video to refer back to, I can figure it out. If I can't figure something out, I go on to YouTube and to watch how someone does something, I can figure it out. But if you just say, this is how it has to be done, it's never going to happen. Case in point, my email this week, Jill. It took me, probably 3 hours to put my email together to send out. Okay. I could do it, but there's so much time I could spend on other things.
Easy comes with the practice, Donna. Just
I
remember
know.
that.
Yeah.
The talk about learning, I feel like it's a good segue into this other question that we had. But being that we all have different ways of that we're learning things, and we're brought into this little bit of constant tug and pull of imposter syndrome or doubting ourselves, especially when the first try at learning what the right things are and trying to slow down enough to figure out how to put them in the right order. But that can really take us down a notch sometimes. We got to figure out okay, we can do this, not give up, because there can be simple and there can be easy. But did we all feel that we could do this? When we got there and then we finally got it click, I know I was excited to keep this journey going. Okay, let's get back on this. And we have this new understanding. We're ready to go. But when you started your business, did you believe that you could do the right things in the right order?
No. Y'all know me and the word entrepreneur has only been married a little over a year. You guys know that. When I first started my business, I was like, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. But you learn. Yeah. And then as you go along, you're like, oh, wow, okay. And then you start to see the results of your email campaign or your socials on social media, and people are going, oh, that's really funny, and they start commenting. You're like, oh wow, okay, this I get this. But also, there's the learning, there's the taking the right steps at the right time, because Kim is very good at saying, let's come down a little bit, let's stay here. You're like, no, I want to go over here. And she's really good at that, but I see why she does that. So I'm starting to feel like, me and the word entrepreneur are going to make it. We're coming upon our year anniversary, just a little over a year anniversary. So, the first year special. We'll see what happens in the second year.
Well, for me, I was at a point in my business, and because it was during COVID, obviously, and I needed to change something, and because Kim graciously volunteered to be my co-host on a webinar, I am sitting here now. I had no idea. I don't want to say this, but I had no idea what I was getting into. I mean, all in a good way, but because Kim, she was not forthcoming for all the things she did. It was almost like, I'm just going to tell you one step at a time. I'm going to tell you all these things in the right order, because if I tell you the whole thing, you're going to run the other way. She was right.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's a lot more to come, or just getting better at all the things we're doing, but I think she's right. If she said, this is what I do, and this is all the things you're going to do, I would have said, bye-bye. Because, so I, for people who are listening, I know it doesn't sound like it makes sense, but doing one thing at a time, really does help.
Well, I think that Linda had said something about how on the outside, everyone sees, you know, our persona out there and it all looks so calm and collected. If they knew the hot mess that was happening on the inside, so it may look like it's all together. It's so not together, but it's okay. It's okay.
It's funny you said that, Kat, because I'm like, I'm trying to be living proof, and I'm like, I'm not a reality show. I'm not going to sit here with my phone recording all of the like. I can't do this anymore. Like, I don't want to be here. Can I get off this adventure? And then I'm like, tomorrow it's going to be completely different because I got it finally. And
That would be a good reel. That would be a good reel, taking pictures of ourselves during the day. Wow.
Well, it could be a soap opera. It'd be like, stay tuned to see if Jill actually quits or if she continues.
And tomorrow, Linda is going to do blah, blah, blah. Stay tuned.
We have to be careful what we wish for, okay?
Oh, God, no. God, no. It would be kind of funny. And then we'd have Carrie, who's going to be like with all her buttons, you know. Which buttons will Carrie push today?
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, boy, that could be funny.
Okay.
So before you were talking about squirrels, Kat, so I have this button. I don't have a short attention span. Oh, look, a squirrel.
I love that.
And it's on my shelf to remind me.
I love that. Yeah, so I don't think I believed I could do this when I first started. I feel that I had to be able to do it because at that point it was my only option, it felt like. And then because of course, Donna, also this is during COVID, well, the whole great freeze, that everything was a standstill. What do? I have a newborn and I have no work. So let's figure this out. And I kind of had to make sure it worked. And then I slowed down real hard with things and kind of started to focus on one thing at a time. And the first thing for me was messaging and figuring out what that was that I needed to do for someone else, how I can help them. And that's hard to slow down that much, to go all the way back to the very, very beginning and really get clear on that. But it provides lots of growth. And I think as fierce entrepreneurs, we need to be able to go ahead and take that pause to step back and get clear on whatever that step is. Maybe it's not all the way back to the beginning. Maybe it's to a point where we're rebranding and we're figuring out that messaging, or we tried one version of a product or a service and we needed to switch it because we got feedback that wasn't what was the thing that was helping someone. Or we have kids and we're in a serious health crisis, or anything really, that we're just really needing to take it really, really slow so we get it right the first time. And I think all of that really was something that I feel that many entrepreneurs can feel relatable to, because, hey, we're all human and we're going to have those little bit of setbacks, and then we're going to grow from it and continue more fiercely and with more confidence.
Jill, can I jump in? Because I want to just, like you mentioned, the imposter syndrome. And it's funny because like you start your day and you have all, and sometimes it's day on, day off. Sometimes it's in the same day. We'll have different moments in any given day where we're going, why am I doing this? Should I be doing this? Maybe I should be doing something else. Maybe I'm wasting my time. Maybe like all these, doubts and thoughts that come into us. I do on occasion, 50-50. I did believe that I could do this and do the things in the right order. And then 5 minutes later, you don't think you can. So it's that roller coaster of emotions and that little, gremlin on our shoulder speaking to us and saying, what are you doing? And you're going, what do you mean? And having those weird conversations, which we often do, whether it's in the mirror or just like here at our desk. And it's definitely a roller coaster. It's a challenge mentally. However, I feel that there are more moments than not where I believed that I could. However, I'm sure if I went back to all the different days and different times, there'd be moments where I'd be like, no, cannot. And I feel like Linda was dying to jump in too.
Yeah. I just wanted to talk to that quickly, because that gremlin on your shoulder, when you are trying to do one thing, that's such a distraction from doing that one thing. And means that then our right order that we thought we had a plan in place suddenly feels like it's a little bit sabotaged by many gremlins or many self-doubting beliefs or interruptions of children who need cheese on cornflakes or something obscure like that.
Human gremlins.
Yeah, gremlins as well. So, yeah, I don't think it can be underestimated how much that can take away from doing the right things in the right order, or focusing on one thing at a time, or moving forward as well.
Yeah, while we were all talking, I had this analogy of a recipe. When I have a cookbook, there are like all these ingredients that, some people pull them all out, so they're right there, or you go and get one at a time. But the steps to the recipe is, if you're making bread and you start mixing everything together and forget to put the yeast in, and it doesn't rise. So, I mean, that's the analogy I have to the idea of one step at a time and putting the right thing in the right order. So that's all I had on that.
I'm
Well, Donna,
giggling.
go ahead. Go ahead,
Sorry,
Jen.
I'm giggling to myself because that's me. I jump ahead of my recipes all the time. So now I know to really take a step back. Go ahead, Kat. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, I'm the person that takes all the stuff out, and after I've used it, I put it off to the side.
Mhm.
That's what I do. But I was also gonna say that sometimes in taking a step, you have to be ready for the step. Sometimes you don't want to do the step. Sometimes you're too tired to do the next step. I mean, you have to be in a certain frame of mind. Well, I do. I don't know about y'all, but to say, okay, when Kim gives us something and it's just this big hairy monster sitting on my desk, and I keep looking at it and going, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. And I have to break it into, well, let me take a look at it first, see what it looks like. And I look at it and I go, okay. And I put the big hairy thing back on my desk again. And then I look at it and I play around for a little while. And I think there has to be this comfort level where you feel like, okay, well, this isn't so bad. Let me see what I can do with this. And I think Canva was like that. When I first started doing Canva, I was like, I can't do Canva. And then you start playing around with it and it becomes this, when Donna said, I played around in Canva. I was like, no one plays in Canva, Donna. Canva's a job, Canva's work. But I know what she means now is that you do play around to see, what's this? Clicking around and just having fun with it.
I love that. That's good. That's good. What did you just say? You said something and now I've lost my train of thought. I was listening so well to you.
Playing in Canva.
Oh, it's the steps. Speaking on, you have to be ready for it. Sometimes they're big steps and then we got to break them down and even figure out the right order to those steps. Mm-hmm. And understanding the why and the how we do the steps sometimes can be a little intimidating when it is something that kind of is coming fast at you. Because when you do good things, like for your business, because you are doing the right things in the right order, things start to gain momentum So you can almost feel like things are starting to speed up and you're like, oh, whoa, no, we got to be ready for that step, like you're saying. So there's that, when you do see those wins, because you're seeing the steps and then you're seeing how they work, all of a sudden you start seeing how fast things are actually moving because of that momentum. And it's why we have become entrepreneurs, because that's what fuels us, is that we're doing the right thing because we're doing the right thing for someone else too.
I don't know about everybody's experience. I'm just talking about my personal one, that when I first started working with Kim on this journey, there were a lot of things she introduced to me. Initially, I had no idea what to do with them. And then I forgot about them. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, that's why, well, that's why that happened. Or, I mean, yeah. So that's the same thing. It's like when you're ready, when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. So.
I like that. I'm going to sneak in one more question for us and see where that takes the turn for the last little bit of time we have together. But what things are happening in your life, have been doing the right things in the right order in your business? Let's see. I'm going to say I'm able to spend the time immersed in my family, which is what I was afraid of losing out on if I had been so enveloped in a business. So I think that's one thing that it's really happening. Life is happening for me because I'm doing the right things in the right order. I know, I stumped y'all.
I don't know, Bill. I mean, there are moments when I think, oh, I'm doing it. And then I have a day where I have a complete meltdown, and it's like, oh, it's not happening fast enough. It's like this, but I think overall, I'm able to see my progress through this whole thing, and knowing that, because when you were talking about, things are moving faster, I think we're just getting better at the process. Before, when I'm going to bring up Canva again, it used to take me I was in Canva for 2 hours trying to do something. And now it's boom, boom, boom. So I think it seems like things are happening fast because I think we're getting better at what we're doing, but we're able to see further into the future of our business because of the things that we've done so far. We're able to say, okay, now what? Now I can do this. And now and you can look and dream and window shop, and as far as what you want to see happen in your business.
And I think for me, it's helped me by doing the right things in the right order in the business. I find I'm now doing that in life. So there'll be little pieces, like rather than, spending a day where you need to do all of the housework, for example, you now turn those into bite-sized pieces and do a little bit at a time, because everything has to have a balance, and it just has organically paired in a similar fashion to what has happened in the business without even thinking about it. It's just naturally occurred where you've gone, oh, okay, well, this is my, what's that word that you used, Donna?
Modus operandi.
Yep, that's the one. That's what's happened, because that's become so natural on this side. So then on the other side, in life and house and things, it's just transferred over. If there's something mentally that's gone on, to adopt on both sides and let it happen. You can't force these things, as we talk about a lot in our community. We have to, and Donna mentioned this as well about, when the student's ready, the teacher arrives. Light bulb moments, we all have those as well. So we have to let ourselves be open to that possibility. So it's definitely a lot of like crazy mental stuff going on my side, at least.
That you just brought something up, Carrie, that I realize about myself is I have moved several times over the last several years. And I don't know, somehow I got the responsibility of packing everything up and unpacking everything. I just don't know. And because somebody else went to work every day and did business. And I kept thinking like, well, how come this keeps happening? So I put business on hold so I could get us out of the house. And then, that was the last time. And so the last time that happened, I fought internally. I fought myself saying, no, I can't do that. I can't put this on hold anymore, because it's like stop and start, stop and start. And so every time there had been a major project, like my daughter's wedding, I had to maintain myself and not just put it on the shelf. And that's been a real struggle, So when you're saying, like cleaning the house for the whole day, I learned, I guess, from everybody else, how to do things through osmosis, how to do things in bits and pieces. Yeah, because putting my business on the shelf certainly didn't help anyone. Didn't help me.
I think for me, it's recognizing what I value in overall life and business and how those two intertwine. Things like strengths at the moment, strength and fitness. So working on my core strength and building up strength for other things mentally and emotionally, and also physically at the same time. So being able to pull all those together has been really, really fabulous at the moment.
That's awesome.
And I'm sure Kat can talk to that a little bit as well. Yeah.
That's great.
I feel like we all rub off on each other, like you're saying, Donna, that, we learn from each other and how we're doing these practices in order to put things in the right things in the right order, even outside of our business. So yes, we're learning in our masterminds, in our community, and then we take it outside, because our businesses aren't just our businesses. It's part of our life. Our life includes our business. So why not apply the things that we're learning for business to life? And that's why we do sticky note time. But hey, mapping it all out, figuring out this plan, and then taking it little bit by little bit is obviously helping us, yes, do more in our businesses, but also grow as humans too, which is really cool to experience, especially if we're rewatching these summits, and we can see how we've all grown over the last couple of quarters now. And it's really cool to see how much fiercer we are, the confidence we've all gained, and coming in and doing these kinds of questions and just having these conversations it's so stinking fun and great to learn from each other like this. I don't know, I'm enjoying this. This is great.
You just said something, Jill. Coming out of corporate America, there's a lot of competition around you. And so you learn quickly, if you want to survive and you want to move up in a company, you got to do it all. You got to, boom, 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 boom. And I think that when you let go of that, and then, you decide you're going to be an entrepreneur, you're going to start your own business, it's okay to not be like that. I think that this community, Kim, Carrie, has taught me it's okay to be messy. You don't have to be perfect. But in corporate America, you could, you couldn't make those mistakes. You made those mistakes, you didn't have a job. And so to allow yourself to not be perfect. And I think that I've learned so much about myself. Obviously, I realized how much I took fun out of my life when I was in corporate America. But I just feel like I don't think we compete with each other. As you were saying, I think we learn from each other and realize that, if someone's having a bad week, we understand what that's like. We're not sitting there like shaming someone, like, and I think that's the strength of all of us, to support each other. But it's like so different than being in corporate America.
I love what you said, Donna, because I think when I was thinking about, as you were speaking, the word fierce entrepreneur, and a lot of people think fierce is, I can do it by myself. I don't need anybody. I'll just do it alone. And you can, but why would you? I think that we are even more fierce as a tribe, as we are together, because we're giving our fierceness to each other, our little, what I call our little, the sauce, the special sauce that we all have in ourselves, and we give it to each other, and it makes this really wicked soup type of thing where we're able to just enjoy and learn from each other. And I think it, knowing each other and helping each other makes us even more fierce entrepreneurs.
Mm.
I love that, Kat, because I feel like we put so much pressure on ourselves as individuals outside, like we were talking about imposter syndrome and those gremlins and all the things. So to have the support of this community and be able to lean on each other in those moments, and everyone has different days and different times, but someone else is there. Like there's someone else that can support you and perk you back up, even just spending time in this community and having each other. And you might come into a session and you're not feeling the greatest because you've had a bit of a bad day or a bad week, and then you come out of that session feeling completely different because we've supported each other. And just the vibe, the energy that you get from others rubs off. It all rubs off. And we've spoken a bit about the influence we have on each other. It happens moment to moment, session to session, no matter where we are and what's happening. We can take that energy with us. So I love that part of it as well.
Mm. And there are moments when each of us have been the what's the word I'm trying to look at? The focal point for a long conversation. And the great thing, wasn't that a nice way to say that? And so I think we've all had those moments. And the thing about that is, it's as if that you're being spoken to yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's like Carrie could be talking to one of us, or, you, and I'm applying it to myself because I see myself in the same situation. And you think about, where do you get that when you're in, I'm not putting corporate America down because there's parts of it I do miss. Like I know what my paycheck's going to be every week. But I'm saying, where else can you get that where you learned so much from each other, and realize that we're more alike than different.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, we lost Linda. Hopefully she'll be able to get back in. Where am I going with that? I keep losing my mind.
There's so much good conversation here and so many thoughts that we're all having with Jen. So good and distracting at the same time.
Oh, Linda's got back in. Yay.
Yes, lost connection on my phone somehow. I'm so sorry.
Good.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, that's okay.
Well, I wanted to ask everyone final thoughts because we're going to take a break in a little bit. So if anyone has anything that they'd like to wrap up this first half of our roundtable discussion with, love to hear it. I know I am super grateful for everyone here and this chat. So yes, Carrie, please chime in.
Pick me. Well, I actually wanted to share, and a lot of us have a a word for the year, and I decided that my word for this year was going to be blend, because it is a little play on the word there of, blending coffee beans, but it actually to me means balance, which is what we're talking about a lot today so far, is doing things in the right order and having that balance between business and life, and again letting that happen. But I just wanted to share my final thoughts were about my word of the year being blend, because it's all about, for me, blending everything together and bringing in that balance for 2024. I'm pretty excited.
It's a great word.
I'm going to follow up with my word, which is commitment,
Mhm.
which also ties in very beautifully with what we've been talking about, committing to doing the next thing, or one thing at a time, or the best thing, or committing to being an entrepreneur, or health, or fitness, or all sorts of things that applies to. And yes, very much living out my word already.
Well, I'll follow up with my word is momentum. It reminds me to keep moving forward no matter how slow I might think I'm going. I'm still moving forward. Just that continuous motion of getting things done, but not rushing through it. So I'm already thinking about my word for 2025.
Slow down. Slow down.
But that's my word for the year.
You want to go, Jill?
Sure. If we're going to be following a pattern, I can follow with mine. Just got to figure out how it applies. But my word of the year, heart. I mean, obviously it's going to apply, but it's all the parts of me, everything at my core. And so really trying to put that into getting better at doing the right things in the right order, figuring out what those are. And they might need to start with my recipes.
My word for this year is implement, because last year my word was focus. And so because I focused, I was able to write a book. And so now all the things that are in my book, all the things that I share with people, I want to implement, helping other people put a giving plan together. And I want to implement. It sounds so, but
It sounds very corporate, Donna.
it doesn't. It focus and implement. But so yeah, it does sound very corporate. But I'll have to figure out an entrepreneurial way of saying that.
Well, I love how each of our words are completely fitting to the theme for tonight's summit and doing the right things in the right order, because how can we not all be like on that same wavelength if we're all around each other all the time, it feels like. So it just goes to show you we are being blended together, Carrie. It's great. Well, I do want to say thank you for this chat on this first half of our roundtable discussion. So thank you all for being here and participating. And thank you to you at home who are watching either live right now or later on the replay. And you will want to stay tuned to hear from Adam Rothenberg, who has been listening behind the scenes, going to be coming on stage to share his thoughts about this first conversation. He'll do a little bit of a recap for us and reintroduce us, and then we'll be back up on the stage to have a second half of this conversation. And we're going to take a break real quick for a 1-minute commercial from one of our sponsors. So we will see you, Adam will see you in just about 1 more minute.
This show is sponsored by
Groundwork Brigade Mastermind. Are you an entrepreneur who is focused on making an impact?
But you haven't figured out how to make an income doing it?
We spent years trying to figure out how to do both.
And we realized the business adventure is not a one-size-fits-all. I'm Kim White. I'm the founder and fierce leader of the My Sexy Business team.
And I'm Kerry Zarb, Aussie bucket of swearing sunshine.
And she's a brilliant entrepreneur, by the way.
We both understand how it feels to believe we are the only ones who can't figure things out.
So we decided to join forces so we could get in the trenches with you.
We lead a very special mastermind group so you can be confident in strategically implementing
the right things in the right order so that you too can get the best possible results.
We cover a variety of topics based on what you need,
including building a business that you own and doesn't own you.
We even address things like social media strategy and simple tech solutions.
If you would like to meet other entrepreneurs who are living proof of what is possible,
come and join us at Groundwork Brigade Mastermind Open House.
Well, here we are at the halftime show of the Fierce Entrepreneur Summit, and nobody could hear me because I was talking on mute. So how's that for not being perfect? I loved that part of the roundtable discussion. So we are having such a great time, and I hope everybody who is watching live at home or on the replay that you are getting takeaways as well from this discussion. And I just want to recap a few of the things that resonated with me throughout the discussion and take things from there. So first, I really loved Carrie's analogy for doing the right things in the right order. I liked how she described it as you have to build the foundation, add the framework, then the fixtures. It was something I could very clearly envision. And I also liked what she said about having the support of a community where if you're having a bad week or you're struggling, there's someone there to perk you back up. And I also really enjoyed when Donna mentioned that you have to hear things multiple times until the day that it clicks, and that is when you understand it. I certainly know I've had conversations with Kim for 2 years, and finally something clicked and I got what she was saying and I implemented it. There's your word, Donna. And I have been moving forward with it. So I definitely understand that. And of course, I resonated when Donna talked about let yourself not be perfect, because there I was talking on mute, welcoming you to the halftime show, and nobody could hear me. And I also liked how Kat phrased about you have to be ready to receive the information. So, and that is when you're able to hear it and understand it. That went along with what Donna was saying about hearing things multiple times. And I also liked what Kat said about how we all learn differently. And no matter what group you're in, it's important that your coach or your leader understands how you learn. And the other thing that Kat said is that you can't do business alone, but you can do business alone. You can do business alone, but we are more fierce together as a tribe, and that we are giving our fierceness to each other. And I truly believe that definitely in the My Sexy Business community, that is how it is. We are definitely giving our fierceness to each other, and we are so grateful to all be together as a tribe. And Linda, I loved her analogy with I'm hiding the dirty dishes in the microwave so nobody sees what I have behind the scenes. And so this way, on the outside, it looks like you have everything together, but behind the scenes, people would see everything that we are going through. And that is definitely something I can relate to. And I do try to show the dirty dishes when I can, but sometimes it is nice to be able to put them in the microwave where nobody can see them. And Jill, I love what she said about how we have to step back and evaluate things and how important it is to take things slow so you can really see what is working and what's not, and that it's okay to make adjustments along the way. I certainly know that I have made adjustments along the way, and I don't think I could have if I didn't take that time to slow down. And I also loved what she said about do what fuels us, because people will see that and it will excite them too. and also that the things we're learning for our business, we can also apply to life. And that is definitely true. There are a lot of things I have learned here in the My Sexy Business community that I have then applied to my life. So that was definitely resonated with me. And I do want to say that we did get a comment during the roundtable from Holly Totten. One thing that resonated for her throughout the conversation was Jill's point about doing the right things, not just for yourself, but for others. It's important to remember as well. So that is my recap of the first roundtable. And we are going to take just another quick break to hear a word from one of our other sponsors. I'll be back in a minute.
Do you struggle to understand your business finances? Are you sick of not being able to keep up with the beans in your business? Tune in to the Money Barista podcast for your weekly coffee combo about business finances. This is where coffee meets money. Hosted by Kerry Zarb and Kim White in the virtual cafe, we invite you to join us at our table with your favourite brew, because we understand your finances are as private as your underwear. This is why we share these personal conversations with you, so that you can get in control of your business finances. We chat about the real issues we've faced with our flippin' digits and discuss everything in a simple way to help you on your BizBeans journey. As Princess Kim would say, buckle up, and I'll say, come on, let's go, it's coffee time. Catch the Money Barista podcast on your favourite podcast channel today.
Well, welcome back to the halftime show. We are having such a great time here at the Fierce Entrepreneur Summit and are grateful for you watching at home or watching the replay. So now I am so excited to represent Kim, who is normally our hype girl, but she could not be here tonight. So I am very excited to be the hype guy to talk about all of our roundtable guests and roundtable leaders talk about the one thing that they are offering in their business and want to share with everybody. So I am going to start with the freaking fabulous Kat Crociato. Kat is offering, she is the owner of Small Space Pilates, and Kat is offering a free week of classes to Small Space Pilates. So this is an online community, and you can join in from the comfort of your own home, and you can try her Pilates classes and all the other classes that Kat offers. So that is very exciting. And I believe we are next going to Linda Bonney. Linda Bonney has recently published 2 books based upon the name of her podcast, Stories with the Sunday Rose. So there's Stories with the Sunday Rose Collection 1 and Collection 2. And in these books, Linda has taken the conversations and interviews that she had on her podcast, and she has parlayed them into stories that relate to her own life. So you can connect with Linda to find out where you can get the books. You can get them on Amazon, and you can talk to her more about how she was able to do that. So I just lost my train of thought. So I'm going to go on to Yvonne Marchese. And Yvonne, I want everybody to know, is the president of the Age Agitators Club. Now, this is a club for women who are in midlife, approaching midlife, or are curious about midlife. The club meets every month, and they talk about all the different ways to age playfully. So Yvonne is offering a free month access to the Age Agitators Club. So you'll want to connect with her to find out how you can take advantage of that free month and find out more about the club. Denise Millay. Denise also just published a book. Her book is called Be Findable. If they can't find you, they can't do business with you. She is having a book launch party on January 25th at 5 p.m. Central Time. And this will be the time that we celebrate publication of Denise's book, where she shares her wisdom in how you can make yourself more findable online when your clients and customers are looking for your services through search engines. So you'll want to connect with her to find out how you can be part of the book launch party. And of course, you can get her book on Amazon. Jill is hosting the first vision board party of 2024 for the My Sexy Business community. It is on Monday, January 29th at 6 p.m. Central Time. And the vision board party is where Jill will show you how to create a vision board, either digitally or physically. It is also a time where you can update your current vision board. And that is something we are going to be doing during the vision board. So you can RSVP to get the link for the vision board party on the My Sexy Business website. The vision board party is free, and you just have to provide your email address so Jill can send you the link for it. Donna Bender is going to be hosting her next show and tell on Tuesday, January 30th at 1 p.m. Central Time. This is where Donna will show you all the latest branded products and gifts you can use in your business to build relationships, increase sales, and retain clients. So when your clients need your services, they will think of you right away. So you want to connect with Donna to find out how you can attend the show and tell. She does this on a monthly basis. And the next one, as I said, is Tuesday, January 30th. You can also go to her website and sign up for the show and tell there. Carrie Zarb is going back out on tour. Yes, the Money Barista is taking the stage once again on Wednesday, January 17th at 5 p.m. for the live tour of the Money Barista Savings Tool. Now, this is the tool. It's a free tool that Carrie offers, and it can help you get in control of those pesky recurring subscriptions so you don't wake up one day and see an unexpected charge on your bank account or credit card from a service you haven't used in years or months. So Carrie will be back on tour, as I said, Wednesday, January 17th, 5 p.m. Central Time. You can connect with her to find out how you can join the tour. And you can also go to her website to sign up for the tour. Again, it is a free event. And Kim is going to be offering tomorrow, she is going to be offering the TNT workshop. This is a website workshop where she will show you how creating a website can be simple and easy when you know the formula for a dynamite website. She will walk you through her treeing and tech process for a website that will blow up your credibility, sales, and impact. Now, we would love to offer everybody a special code to attend the workshop for free as a thank you for watching the Fierce Entrepreneur Summit tonight. So that code is going to be TNT100. So if you go to the My Sexy Business website, and when you register for the workshop, if you put in that code TNT100, you will get to attend the workshop for free. And lastly, I am offering for you to sign up for the Call Me Adam Digest. This is my weekly newsletter where you can get a front row seat to my interviews, podcast episodes, and other behind the curtain adventures. It will make you the first to know as what's going on behind the scenes. And you can connect with me or go to my website to sign up for my newsletter. All right. So now it is time I want to take a moment before we get to the next roundtable. I just want to reintroduce everybody and let everybody know, for those who have just tuned in, and just as a refresh as to what is happening tonight. So you are here at the My Sexy Business Fierce Entrepreneur Summit, and tonight's theme has been doing the right things in the right order. Now, the Fierce Entrepreneur Summit is for anyone who is an entrepreneur or thinking about becoming an entrepreneur. It is also for those who are curious about the life of an entrepreneur and what goes into being one. It's a place to be inspired and to discover behind the scenes insight into owning your own business, from the challenges to the successes. And we've been having a roundtable discussion so far tonight. I just gave a recap before of the first roundtable discussion, which was led by Jill Olish and Kat Corchado. And now the second roundtable discussion is going to be led by Carrie Zarb and myself. And I do want to remind everyone and let everyone know that unfortunately, Kim was not able to join us tonight because she is still not feeling well. And we are continuing to send you much love, Kim, and hope you feel better soon. I also want to remind everyone and let everyone know that Yvonne Marchese and Denise Millay are also not able to be here as planned, but we still want to represent them as if they were here live with us. So we are doing just that. Well, I think now it is time to start the next roundtable discussion. So I am going to bring Carrie Zarb up, who's going to be co-leading this roundtable with me. And, oh, you know what I have to do, Carrie? I have to also reintroduce everybody, which I didn't get to do yet. So let me go ahead and do that. And I am going to start with Carrie Zarb. So Carrie is a rock star podcaster, published author, brilliant entrepreneur, director of Zinc Business Solutions, cover girl, mastermind leader, GME executive producer, and roving reporter. She is the money barista who helps entrepreneurs get in control of their business finances. She does this through the Money Barista podcast, which she co-hosts with Kim White. She does this through the Money Barista Savings Tool, where she shows you how to get rid of those pesky recurring subscriptions, and through the Money Barista Club, where she provides the necessary tools to help you understand your business finances, as well as through her new book, The Money Barista, where she shares her finance saving wisdom. Carrie has helped this community save over $116,000 so far in recurring subscriptions. She is fueled by coffee, and Carrie loves beans of all kinds. We also have with us the freaking fabulous Kat Corchado. Kat is a proud Air Force veteran, health and wellness professional, founder of Small Space Pilates, podcast host, published author, and GME roving reporter. Kat is the founder of Small Space Pilates, an online community where you get fit and fabulous through online classes and a library of videos you can utilize anytime. With over 39 years in the fitness industry, Kat will help you increase your body awareness, strength, and flexibility. She is the host of the podcast Sisters in Service, where she speaks with military women about the good, the bad, and the ugly while serving active duty or as veterans. And she also hosts the Salty Sisters live stream with Yvonne Marchese, where they bust up the old paradigms about aging and have fun while they do it. We have Linda Bonney. She is a published author, conversationalist, writer, storyteller, podcast host, production manager, and GME roving reporter. She lives and works in Tasmania alongside 4 kiddos, odd socks, and business friends who feel just like family. She has published 2 books inspired by her podcast, Stories with a Sunday Roast. She also hosts a second podcast, Mucked Up My Self-Care with Jill Olish, where they talk about motherhood and entrepreneurship. Through her storytelling and conversations, Linda helps others feel like they are sitting on a porch talking with a friend, quirky stories and all. Yvonne Marchese is an age agitator, podcast host, community builder, branding photographer, published author, event speaker, and GME roving reporter. She hosts the Late Bloomer Living podcast, where she spotlights amazing humans who are defying societal age boundaries. She is also the co-host of the Salty Sisters live stream with the freaking fabulous Kat Corchado, where they bust up the old paradigms about aging and have fun while they do it. Denise Millay is the findability queen. She's a tech simplifier, game show host, published author, website builder, founder of M Media Group, and a GME roving reporter. Through her book, Be Findable, Denise is on a mission to make sure the content you create for your business is included in search results when your potential clients look for you online. And she does this because if they can't find you, they can't do business with you. Jill Olish is the founder of Mama Outspoken. She's an executive team leader, postpartum awareness advocate, vision board party host, event coordinator, podcast host, GME associate producer, and GME roving reporter. Jill is creating a life and business that is fulfilling and meaningful while being living proof for all moms that living out your dream life is possible. Working through her own challenges of postpartum, Jill founded Mama Outspoken because she wanted to empower mamas to find their voices and be heard, advocate for themselves, and spread awareness for motherhood transitions. She is also the co-host of the Mucked Up My Self-Care podcast with Linda Bonney, where they talk about motherhood and entrepreneurship. Donna Bender is a certified givologist, branded product strategist, corporate marketing trainer, creator of The Giving Plan, show host, published author, and GME roving reporter. Donna is celebrated for her creativity in crafting impactful marketing and branding strategies. With a keen focus on surprise and delight marketing, Donna has built a reputation for helping businesses build long-term relationships, maintain their client base, increase referrals, and grow their business, whether that's finding the perfect gifts to give or using the right branded products to effectively represent their company and image. In her recently published book, The Art of Giveology, Giving Your Way to Success in Business, Donna shares her 2 decades of experience. Kim White is the fierce leader of the My Sexy Business community. She's a published author, podcast host, mastermind leader, and GME executive producer. Along with Carrie Zarb, Kim co-hosts the Buckets and Boomgates podcast, where they talk about all the things it takes to be an entrepreneur. They also co-host the Money Barista podcast, where they discuss all the ways you can get in control of your business finances. She has helped entrepreneurs all over the world build businesses that they own and doesn't own them. Now, I don't want to get in trouble for any of our sponsors, Carrie. So before we start this roundtable discussion, I do need to play our last commercial from one of our sponsors. So we are going to start the roundtable discussion in just 1 minute.
Once upon a time, there was a princess from Oklahoma living a traveling life in Texas.
When along comes an Aussie bucket of swearing sunshine.
When these 2 girls from opposite ends of the globe met in February 2021,
Even the universe did not know what it was in for.
determined to solve world problems for entrepreneurs, we still to this day learn just how similar we are.
We have found our passions were too strong not to unite and become the partners in change that we are.
What is a bucket and a boom gate?
So a bucket is basically a category or a way to change how you're looking at something big.
And a boom gate is a way to protect ourselves. Sometimes we need a boom gate to protect ourselves from ourselves.
We have lots of experience of our lifetimes of business, and we want to share that with you.
We look forward to bringing you weekly episodes of the Buckets and Boom Gates podcast.
All right. So it is time now for the second roundtable. So let's bring up all of our roundtable guests. We have Jill Olish, Kat Corchado, Donna Bender, and Linda Bonney.
Oh, Adam, thank you. Thank you so much. You have done a brilliant job of that mid-show entertainment, the recap, all the things and everything. So thank you. And I'm going to give your voice a little bit of a rest for a moment and take over for a while because that was a lot to get through, but you did such a marvelous job. So thank you so much. And we have another set of spicy questions for everyone here, which I'm excited to get into. And I'm going to kick right off. I think we should go to the first question, which is, what has doing the right things in the right order meant to you that you want to share with other entrepreneurs?
So who wants to take this one straight out of the gate? I think we're all firing on all cylinders now. So what has it meant to you that you want to share with other entrepreneurs? Popcorn style, anyone jump in.
I'll go. I think for me, it's meant that I didn't know what I didn't know. And so I had to learn what the steps were first. And knowing what those steps were has helped me to get to where I am today. And it means a lot that in this group that we learn. Someone isn't just telling us, do this, do this, do this. It's learning and being okay when you mess up. You know, we mess up and we just think, ugh. And they're like, no, it's fine. You know, do it messy, as Kim loves to say, messy's beautiful, and learn from there. And so that's given me an opportunity to just relax and know that, you know, it's not perfect the first time out the gate, but nobody is, and get better next time. So I don't know if that answered your question, Karen, but that's my answer.
Yeah, that was amazing, and I agree with everything that you just said. And this relaxed environment that we live in together in the community, it just doesn't it just like take such a weight off your shoulders, like to be able to do all these things. I agree with you completely that we are able to do these things. We've been given permission. We give ourselves the permission. Do it anyway. Just do it anyway. So I love that, Kat. Anybody else?
Carrie, you said relaxed community?
Relax.
Is that the word?
Relaxed.
Relaxed? I'm sorry, Linda, go ahead.
I just wanted to, I guess, throw and support what Kat was saying, but also find people that get what you're doing, like have an understanding and acknowledgement that they can give back to you, because having that cheer squad around you is really, really important in helping you to work out the right things in the right order and work out what might be best, not just in a state of overwhelm or anything like that, but actually calling on wisdom and experience and all sorts of other skills that we all bring to the table as well.
And I'll jump in and say I wanted to build on what Kat and Linda were saying too about learning, that we all, and this was touched on in the first roundtable a little bit, about how we all learn things in different time, and we have to be okay with that. And it's not a race of who learns it first. It's everybody learns in their own time, and also that it's okay if something takes longer than you expected, and to take that step back until you fully understand what you're doing. And I know I mentioned this during the halftime show of Kim and I had a conversation about something in my business for almost 2 years, if not 2 years, and I finally, I have no idea why it took me so long to understand what she was talking about, but it finally clicked with me, and now I've been telling these behind the curtain stories, and I just had to be okay with the fact that it took me that long to understand what she was saying, and now I can move forward. So, you never know how long something is going to take, and just be okay with that time frame, because it doesn't matter when you learn it. Once you learn it, you can move forward.
Love that, Adam.
I wanted to bring up that I feel like we always mention community as being something we share with entrepreneurs as like advice to make sure you go out and find the right community, because it really is where we are learning the most and growing the most and gaining the most confidence. Because for me, I would say the community is probably one of the places where I've been able to, what we talked about before, to have a mood shift because of the vibe that our community brings to each other. My husband sees it. I'm not okay before going into a meeting of whatever we're doing. And I come out and he's like, why are you smiling? And I'm like, because I just love my people. Like, I'm sorry. But you are also inspiring because you guys are all doing the same thing I'm doing. You're doing the right things in the right order. You're figuring it out, and we're figuring it out together. So I get to see everyone in my community, each of the steps they're taking, and figure out, not necessarily does my step have to be parallel to yours, but I'm seeing your connections down the line. What are your right things that you're putting one after the other? Is that the same for what mine are going to be? Okay, how are you doing that? If it's not the same, how can I, like, what are my pieces then? And it gives me this option of things that I get to choose to put in the right order. And at the same time, it gives me the space to check to see if my communication with my order and my people makes sense. Because in my head, it makes sense to me, sure. But when I say it out loud, that they're getting from A to Z with all the steps, am I showing all my steps or not? You know, are they going A, B, C, D, or are they going A to Z? And does that make sense to you? Because it makes sense to me. So that would be what I would share with someone, because community really gives you all of it. It gives you the inspiration. It gives you the checking, the balances. It helps you really bring all of it back together to be a part of you owning your business and not a business owning you.
I love that, Jill. And it's like we all get to sponge off each other.
Yeah.
We really do. And exactly what you said about, you know, someone else might bring something to the table where we have that light bulb moment going, oh, hang on. So that way that they're doing that thing, I can adopt that, but then we can put our own twist on it. There's no rule book as to the method, because we're all in very different industries and very different businesses. So therefore we've been given also that opportunity to make little twists and turns and do things slightly differently to suit us and our business. So I like that aspect too. Donna, are you going to?
Yeah. I'm laughing at myself because this is not my first rodeo of mapping. This is like the third or fourth time I've done it. And each time, you know, the first one, it was like, I want to do all those things. And I, you know, it was like every possible thing I do. It was like on a sticky note on my wall. And there were only 3 things I could do. And it was like, it took like a whole season to get one thing to come up above the line. Then the next time I did it, it was like less things on there. This time, I only put a few things on there because it's like, well, there is a lot more above the line that's maintenance. But as far as, you know, wanting to do new things, there are things I need to get done and finished. Then when those are finished, it'll be the next quarter, we'll be doing it again. And, you know, something else will be up, you know, come up above my line. But I have learned, just like with the GME videos, you know, it was like I was going over 3 minutes. It was like, you know, I can't say anything for less than 3 minutes. Now it's like 90 seconds. Great. I don't have to talk that long now. You know, it's a whole big learning opportunity.
And, you know, I love what you said also, Carrie, with learning. And of course, right now, I just forgot what I was going to say with that. Oh, with how you see somebody else do something, or you hear somebody else do something, and then you can do that too. I mean, I feel like I get inspired by what everybody does in the community. And then I look, well, how can I adopt that for myself? And I mean, one thing that I'm just going to flat out say is, for instance, I love how we format the roving reporter videos on Good Morning Entrepreneurs. Well, I was looking for a more, as Kim would say, sexy way to present my video interviews. So I now have created a template that fits in with my brand, that I feel like is a sexier way to present my interviews. And going forward, I'm now able to use that template, But if we didn't have that on Good Morning Entrepreneurs, I don't know that I would have discovered that as soon as I did. And we are almost a year into Good Morning Entrepreneurs. So look how long it took me to finally have that light bulb moment of, oh, I could do this for myself.
And with that, Adam, though, like, it may not have been the right step for you yet. And while we can sometimes be very inspired by those who are working around us, it's not necessarily, it's not necessarily always the next step for you that you're inspired by. So you save it for, you write yourself a note and put it on your message board. Do this for this kind of messaging, and don't forget this idea. It's pinned here. And, you make these notes for yourself for that level up when you get there, or when that step is up for you next. So it's not always that you're implementing these new ideas as soon as you see or hear about it. It allows you that time to kind of sit with it and see how you can put your own flavor into it, and then apply it when you are in that right step.
Jill,
So
can I
true.
just pop in with that? Is that what I love is that when you have an idea, and like you said, in your brain, it's like the most amazing idea ever, and you put it out there to the community, which takes a lot of trust. And the community, you guys will say, that's a great idea. What if you did this instead? And you're like, oh, okay. So you get that feedback for an idea that you thought was great, but with the feedback from the community, it's even better now because everyone has put, an input into it. So I love how we are each other's cheerleaders. We're always helping each other and not congratulating, but always pushing in a good way forward for all of us. And whatever either one of us is doing, it's like, oh wow, she's doing that. Well, maybe I can do this. And like you said, you kind of stew on it for a little bit, and then you put it out to the community and say, what about this? So I love that.
I actually also think, Kat, that it's the feedback we get in the community that also helps us do the right things in the right order, because we, like you said, we have this idea and we put it out there, and everyone else is able to come up with questions maybe that they don't understand, something isn't clear. And if we didn't sometimes wait for that feedback, we may put something out there too soon that would be unclear to someone. So that feedback, I feel, is very valuable to help us do the right things in the right order.
I totally agree, Adam. And just to piggyback one more time on what Jill said about, community is being an entrepreneur is lonely. And there are a lot of entrepreneurs out there who got to a sticking point and just quit. And that happened to me so many times. And I think having the community has got me to where I am, because I've had a lot of sticking points. And if I didn't have you guys, I would just been like, I can't figure this out. So why even bother? So I think that's important too.
Oh
I
my
love
God.
all of that. Oh, sorry, Adam.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry. I was just going to add that it's that soundboard. We come together and we get to soundboard. And raise your hand if you got a sticky note that has something on it that you've seen in the community that's on the wait list. Yeah, exactly. And as entrepreneurs, overachievers, we want it all yesterday. We've spoken about that in the first roundtable, and it's hard. It's hard to prioritize. It's hard not to, the shiny unicorns and all the things. However, we help each other achieve that. We actually, many of us have tapped into our sessions and our conversations of, well, and then someone else will call someone else out going, well, hang on, that you weren't doing that last week. So why are you talking about that today? So it's that accountability, the soundboarding, as you guys have mentioned, the feedback that we get from each other just to support each other 100%. So sorry, Adam.
Oh, no, you're totally okay, Carrie. I was just going to say with Kat about the community, I feel like it's so nice to have a group of people that you can bounce these ideas and questions and where you're stuck, what you're excited about off of. Because I think back to all the times before I was in this community and long before I even knew about entrepreneurship. But when I first started my website, I would ask my friends questions about what to do and stuff. And then, it got to a point where maybe they didn't know the answers and I didn't know who else to turn to. And I just felt so lost and I had no idea where to go. And I have to say, having a community, especially this one, has just been so helpful in so many ways. And I always feel like now I have a place to go to get those questions answered.
Beautiful. All right, can we step into the next question, guys? I'm a little bit champing at the bit over here. So, how has doing the right things in the right order helped you so far? Everyone's gone, oh.
Well, like I said before, me and the word entrepreneur got married. So
Yes.
I've never gotten as far in business before. And I've done, you name it, I've sold it. And only because I wasn't passionate about what I was doing. But there has to be, some passion in what you're doing to move you forward. But I think the community helps you to get there. And there has to be a level of trust there. I didn't know any of you guys, but sometimes it takes a leap of faith and a gut instinct to say, why not? Try it and see what happens. You're going to fall forward. You're going to fail forward. And that's okay. And that's what I love. It's face plant, right, Linda?
I just had this image of falling into a big cake, like with the, and then coming out with all the colors of the cake all over the face, and yeah, that's all. It was quite, great. Thank you.
I think doing things out of order first has helped me get the things in the order. Because when I first joined this community, I was working towards developing a course. I was working to develop, I think maybe even 2 courses. And I didn't really enjoy that path. It wasn't, I was doing it because that's what I felt like was going to earn me money. So I was like, I guess that's what I have to do. But I wasn't 100% passionate about it. If you want the complete truth, there it is. So doing that out of order first has allowed me to now find the right things to do, which for me is telling these behind the curtain stories, getting my newsletter intact to send out weekly. And I don't know where that's going to lead me in terms of building a business or making money or anything, but it fuels a fire in me that I love. I love writing my newsletter every week. I love telling the stories, and I feel like it's helping me connect with people more than trying to be out there saying, I have a course to teach you, where you may get some of that same information, but this is definitely in a much more fun way. So I think the out of order helped me get into the right order.
Yes, Adam. I knew you would come to that decision. Let's put it that way. Which was a great decision. And but had you not done that, you might still be struggling. You might still have lost your passion. So it was all good. And I think for me, Kim kept saying, you have to write a book. And I kept saying, I don't want to write a book. I have nothing to say. I even say that in my book, that towards the end, I say something about not having enough to say. And I said, and if you got to this point in my book, you will know that's not true. And it helped me so much. I mean, I could have gone on and on trying to do a workshop and trying to do this and trying to do that and getting the message out. But the book was like, I don't know, it was the gift that tied the whole bow up. And it was like, now I have this, and it's from this that everything else is going to happen. And I just needed to have something. I needed to have something as a guide, you know. And you know, when people say, and Linda knows this, you know, it's that what's the expression? When you have a book, you have evidence. Okay, yeah, you know, and you have something that, you know, as Kim says, it's not a money-making opportunity, it's a marketing piece. And it truly is, because there are people, you know, I got to get some more, because there are people I just want to send them. I mean, I intentionally did it for timing wise. It was part of my giving plan. This was something that I was going to send out to people. So now that with this year, now I'm going to be doing it this year and just sending the book out to people. And so I think for me, doing that has enabled me now to do the right things in the right order.
I love that, Donna. And I think what everyone's sharing in different words is that we can build these platforms for ourselves. So not only is it a marketing tool when we publish a book, yes, it is out there for sale. It's a product that we offer people, but it gives us another leap. It gives us another opportunity to build another piece of that foundation, because not all of us are, well, many of us are not. We're still building that foundation. We're still building the pieces of, I'll go back to my house, I can't help it. And it's not about having all the walls and roofs and windows in a day. It is still the journey that we continue on and keep growing. We are growing as humans, as entrepreneurs, and all the other things that we do in our life. So to allow ourselves to do that is one of my favorite things.
I think for me, it's been gaining confidence, and that's how it's been helping me. And I back to the words of the year, because I just was thinking about them as we're all talking, and that my words of the year have been in the right order now. And I went from jumping ahead first. That's what I thought I was doing. I was trying to jump ahead, like Adam was talking about, doing something that I wasn't really passionate about. But so I stepped back and got clarity, and clarity was my first word of the year. Then the second year was understanding. So then I understood better how to do these things. And now I'm at the point of putting my heart into it. So I think that's what this is helping me do, is understand the process for myself and what state I need to be in of understanding, and not just of the things I'm learning for my business, but of myself and what I want out of my business.
And I have a question, actually, because all of us up here have either published books or written a book, and we're getting ready to publish it. Do you feel like the book helped you get clarity to do certain things in the right order that you didn't have before you wrote the book?
100%. 100%. For me, 100%.
I think for me it was being able to publish 2 books now. It's given me a confidence to then know more and have more belief in doing things in the right order.
I think I was always clear, but I think writing the book, or being part of writing a book, helped the picture of what I want come into focus more, if that makes sense.
I think mine has become more evidence for myself, in that confidence base so that I can do it, that I've reached a point that I'm sharing a story and of what it all comes down to for me, that now I can not just believe it myself, because you know how that, like, once it's in print, now you have to believe it, you know, like, but now I feel like, okay, this is me. This is more of a, yeah, I'm a leader. I'm an influencer. I'm going to make an impact. So let's stand up to what I've put out there. So yeah, I think it's definitely helped gain in that more confident spirit that this right order stuff is having us do.
And Adam, we all shared our words before. We haven't heard yours.
My word of the year is believe. So I can believe more in myself, believe more in my projects, believe that I'm going to accomplish things.
Love it. So good. All right. Well, we need to hop into some final thoughts. But before we go there, I did have one more question, and I don't want to leave this one out because it was pretty important. So I'm just going to do this question real fast before we go into final thoughts and wrap up this amazing summit. So the last question is, when you look back now, did you even think it was possible to be where you are today? So just take a moment, cast yourself back. Kat, back when you got married and did the whole thing, just think back to the beginning, and did you think it was possible to be here today?
Not at all. I mean, I had just, when Kim had reached out to me, you know, about being part of the mastermind, I was like, no. Because I had just come out of a coaching situation. I was just like, yeah, no. Zero. It was, I learned nothing happened. And then I thought, well, wait a minute. I felt as though I didn't know Kim, but I knew her from Clubhouse. And so I took, you know how you have that gut instinct that's like, well, maybe, you know, try it. And I think that if I hadn't have had that leap of faith in myself, that I wouldn't be here today. I could have just as easily said, nope, done. I don't want any more. Yep, I don't want it. But because of that, and because of my passion for what I wanted, because I felt like I had something to give towards this, you know, I had no idea what I was going to do, by the way. You know, I don't know why she wanted me in this group. I still don't know why she wanted me in this group. But I'm glad that she asked me. But yeah, I did not see myself here, but I'm glad that I am here and with all of you.
We're glad too, Kat. And isn't it amazing how you kind of can sometimes sit there and have a moment of, what if I hadn't have? You know, it's that fork in the road situation. We've all probably got a million, if not a bazillion, different timelines that we could have gone on based on any minor decision that we make in our life. And it could have taken us on a completely different path and a completely different road. So I don't often think of that, but sometimes, like now, it hops into my head and I think, oh, where would I be if I hadn't have done this, or if I chose that over this? And we all have choices as entrepreneurs to make those decisions of what we want and where we want to go. So yeah, that popped to mind.
I'm going to say yes and no. I always knew that I would somehow be working in the entertainment industry. I just knew it ever since I was a little kid. I didn't know what that would look like. So that's the yes part. The no part is, as I grew up and I started to work in corporate America, and even when I started this whole interview journey, that's when I started to have the doubt of, am I always going to need a 9-to-5 job to help me survive and get through everything? And then when I took that leap to leave my 9-to-5 job and pursue entrepreneurship on my own, I may not be earning millions of dollars from my journey right now, but I discovered this amazing community, and all of the work that I get to do within the My Sexy Business community has not only helped me so much in my business, but it has enabled me to do so many other things of when I think of working in the entertainment industry that I get to do. I mean, with GME and even tonight, like all of these things are things that I dreamed I would get to do, and I'm getting to do them now here. So I do feel like, yes, I always knew I would somehow make it. And that's where the belief comes in. There was a little bit along the way where I was like, I'm not sure.
Anybody else?
I think when I first started, I thought, yes, I'd be probably where I am today, but not the person I am today. So yes, I did think that I would be a successful entrepreneur, but it was one of those beefed up thoughts of, yeah, I'm gonna do it, not knowing the adventure I'd be on and how I would change for the better and grow and all those fun things to be where I am today.
I love that, Jill.
You know, I was thinking, listening to everybody and thinking about my own situation, obviously, because that's what you want to hear is how it affected me. But I think about, again, the comparison between entrepreneurship and corporate America. And, growing up from the 6th grade on, I was a thespian. I was in the theater. I was in the theater through college. I loved to act. And when I started working in corporate America, it was like, that was not coming out because people didn't do that. And so what this community has allowed me to do, or you and Carrie have allowed me to do, is just to be myself and to have a good time and also get my message out there. And I don't think if you told me this even 2 years ago, that, I would be up there putting on costumes and, every week and looking, and I go to Party City today and I'm going, oh, what can I do next week? It's if you thought that would never have come into my mindset. So the fact that I can have fun doing my passion and be passionate about it, no, I wouldn't have thought that could have happened. So thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Linda?
Definitely couldn't have thought that I would be sitting here having this conversation, and a lot of the things that have happened so far and the things that I'm looking forward to right now. Yeah, I'm still pinching myself sometimes daily.
Same for me. There are so many pinch ourselves moments that we all experience together, and I love that we come together and have those opportunities, all the light bulbs, all the sparks, all the sticky notes, and those pinch me moments make it also worthwhile. And even on a bad day, spending some time together and that little pick me up space really brings it home for me as well. So I'm sure we all agree. Well, we are.
I just want to tell you, Carrie, one thing. I love watching your reaction after my video. I do. It makes me so happy watching your face. Just saying.
Thank you, Donna. And I want to say thank you to our fierce entrepreneurs, the roundtable guests, for sharing all of your wisdom. And thank you for tuning in with us and watching, or if you're watching the replay, if you're here live or the replay, doing the right things in the right order can make it easier for your clients to find you and understand how you can be the solution to their problem. We look forward to seeing you in the next Fierce Entrepreneur Summit in April.